Jill. It's the champagne pouring, big joint rolling, Bombay sipping, no blunt smoking, bad bitch getting thick and she got some friends with her. I take them out, pour shots of liquor, drinking out the bottle, smiling in all my pictures. The marijuana loud, so them hoes follow like Twitter. Nigga, you know everything Taylor. Don't rush to the bar, fool, if you ain't got no paper. That's the rules. High as fuck, sloppy drunk when I'm
Bow. Salute what it is, man. Nocturnal Thoughts, man. Coming at you with another real quick video before I get out the way. Today, Thursday. You dig? Almost Friday. One more day. Hey, I got my second shot vaccination the other day, and I ain't gonna lie. The next day, man, I was feeling it. I was feeling achy. Felt a little sick. I just felt a little sick, man. Felt a little achy, like all my little pain sensors. Wherever I had some pain at before, I had pain, headache. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm feeling decent. Hopefully, when I wake up today, I feel rejuvenated and I feel a little bit better. You know, I feel like I can go back in there and put some work in because I need to put some work in. It's been an off week. This has been an off month. Everything's been off, but we persevere. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I wanted to do a quick response video to a person that left a comment. Aaron 87. He left a comment on the last video I did about Demetrius Andrade. He said he didn't agree with anything I said, like 90% of what I said. But I have to give him a special salute because he also showed a huge amount of respect for the picture I had of my father, who, like I said, is he's passed away, but he was a phenomenal man while he existed here. I mean, he had a journey. His life was a journey, but he was a Vietnam veteran. He did receive a Purple Heart and a Golden Star. So salute to Aaron 87 for showing respect to the old man. I appreciate that. He didn't agree with what I had to say about Demetrius Andrade. So let me, you know what I'm saying, elaborate. Because I watched some more of Demetrius Andrade. First of all, let me say one thing. I respect all fighters, period, point blank. And I have nothing negative really to feel or to say or to think about Demetrius Andrade. I respect him as an athlete, as a boxer, as an entertainer. He's dedicated to his craft. You know what I'm saying? I respect all boxers on that level, period, point blank. I just haven't been following him. To me, he's one of those guys that I've paid attention to here and there. So it's not like I followed his whole career. And I had to go catch up to speed. And I have to only base it off what I see so far. And what I see so far, I'm looking at it in contrast to sizing him up against Canelo Alvarez. That's it. And what I see so far, to be honest with you, you put him in front of anybody else besides Jamar Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, I'm looking at him as a victorious fighter, period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? He can dance underwater and not get wet. He's real slick. He's real savvy. He's, you know what I'm saying, he has a lot of accolades. 6'1" southpaw boxer with good feet. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like Canelo is just indestructible, and unbeatable. You know what I'm saying? Demetrius Andrade got 2 fists, 2 feet, and a brain, just like anybody else. If he come in there perfect, he has tools. He has skills, you know what I'm saying, that can present a issue. And I'm not the one to sit here and say, this man can't make this happen. He can't do this. He can't do that. You never know what this is boxing. Anything can happen in boxing. But what I'm doing is looking at Demetrius Andrade since he busted in on Canelo Alvarez's post-conference and was calling him out. I showed him a lot of respect for that because boxing needs that. And he needs to do that. I mean, he's 33 years old and, you know, Canelo is the cash cow, you know. But at the same time, I would rather see him fight a Jamar Charlo. I would rather see him blaze his own trail than to chase Canelo. You know what I'm saying? But when I look at it as far as what he's able to do in the ring, I see him running into some of the same issues as Billy Joe Saunders. To me, he's just a little bit better, a little bit slicker, a little stronger version of Billy Joe Saunders. You know what I'm saying? I also watched the Clarissa Shields interview, and she told Canelo, shut him up. If you think he got a big mouth, if you think he's a horrible fighter, then go beat him and go shut him up. And I understand where Clarissa Shields was coming from, but at the same time, I'm looking at it from my perspective. Now, from my perspective, I cannot call him a horrible boxer by no means. I'm a domestic level at the best. You know what I'm saying? Novice at the best. You know what I'm saying? I do some shadow boxing, I do some training, and I'm in good shape. I'm also an old man. You dig what I'm saying? Look, in my eyes, no, not a horrible boxer. But from Canelo's perspective, if he calls him a horrible boxer, he's comparing him to Floyd Money Mayweather, Austin Trout, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, um, Triple G. You know what I'm saying? Billy Joe Saunders. Uh, who was he just? Caleb Smith. You know what I'm saying? He's comparing him to the the the, the guys he fought, and he's comparing him to the guys he's encountered. And he's now, when I look at what Demetrius Andrade brings to the table, I see all the accolades, I see all the great things that he do, but the glaring things that he does when I'm looking at him versus Canelo even in my eyes, from just looking at, I know what I'm looking at. I watched him fight Luke Keeler, I watched him fight Pulaski, I watched him fight Walter, the Executioner, Aqua de Natal, something like that. And I'm going to watch tonight, if I get a chance, I'm going to watch him fight Liam Williams. I watched the highlights of Liam Williams. And from those four, just looking at those four fights I've seen him in, to me, he brings the same issue. His power, he's a front runner with his power. He starts off with decent strength, but his strength starts to fade. He doesn't finish strong down the stretch. He loses his ability to keep the respect of his opponent. They start walking through a lot of his shots. Also, I see him giving away his strength. He's 6'1", and he gives away his height advantage all the time. He puts too much. He shifts too much of his weight on his back foot, and in some ways, it's going to always help him because he's tall. He gets down low, and he can lean all his weight in that southpaw position, and he cannot get hit by some guys, but not the elite caliber. You know what I'm saying? He's off balance sometimes with his footwork. He's off balance a lot. And against a guy like Canelo, I see him getting knocked down. I see him giving away too much of this. His body, his hip bone, his body here, his shoulders, his arms. I see him giving away all that in his defense. When he gets up close and he kind of walk you down, crab walking you, and he's sitting here loading up on his hand to throw that big haymaker, a lot of his shots are just arm punches. He doesn't get up underneath his shots and use that power from the ground to the calves, to the thighs, to the hips, glutes and hips, and get up underneath that and just use that arm as a lever. And bang, he does a lot of looping haymaker shots, and they lose power. They don't have a lot of knockout power. You know what I'm saying? And you throwing wild looping shots at Canelo, who's a tactician and a precision puncher, you know what I'm saying, and is calculated, who has measured his opponents to where he's always a couple of steps ahead of you. Now, I definitely see him causing issues with Canelo and taking some rounds. Billy Joe Saunders had some rounds, but I see him running into the same issue down the stretch. Once he loses his he starts to fade with his power, his speed, his reflexes, his agility. He starts to slow down. He starts to labor for oxygen. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't, from what I see, he doesn't have the boxing ability to stay away from Canelo. He doesn't have the power to command respect, to keep him at a respectful length. And I see him getting walked down. I see him getting hit to the body, slowed down, knocked down, and possibly knocked out. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm looking at Demetrius Andrade as a great fighter, a great boxer, and he deserves it. If he gets a shot with Canelo, I would love to see him fight against Canelo. I would love to see how that goes, because I'm not going to act like I can just call it 100%. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to see him put himself in a position where he stands out and separates himself from the pack. Because right now, to me, I don't see anything special about him where I would say he deserves the shot against Canelo versus Jamal Charlo, or versus Caleb Plant, or versus Better Biev, or Bevo. I forget how to say those guys' name, but I just see that Demetrius Andre is doing what he needs to do now. Going to this press conference is a big thing, and that makes me more intrigued by the idea of him getting that fight. But at the end of the day, when I size him up and I look at what he brings to the table, and I look at his strengths and his weaknesses and his pros and his cons, and I look at Canelo and what he brings to the table, when he hits people and he knock their bicep off their bone, and he hits people and he break their orbital bone and break their cheekbone, I'm just looking at Canelo on a higher level. So